So there you go. So thank you all. Okay. So then we can move on to our agenda with the approval of the business meeting minutes. I do not believe they were sent out. We do have the recording, so we will have that in place of an official approval of the business meeting minutes. They should be available on the commission website. So moving on with our agenda to chair's comments. My comments are very simple. Thank you all for being here. We have a hearing on October 5th. That's pretty much it. So we are in the final weeks of our next one for Montgomery County. Thank you to those commissioners and to staff who have been putting everything together. To all the other commissioners, please make every effort to attend either in person or virtually. In person is preferred, but virtually we'll take that too. We understand that we all have our various obligations. And as always, we look forward to a meaningful experience anytime we have these hearings. It is that constant reminder of this commission and the importance of those spaces. So thank you all for that. Very quickly, if anyone wants to share anything on their soul, commissioners, we can have a quick soul check. All right. I feel like everybody's soul's in a good place. I'll take it. I love it. All right. Moving on with our agenda to public comments. As always, we thank the members of the public for being here. If you would like to introduce yourself, please do so in the chat. Name, affiliation, whatever you want to share with us. We greatly appreciate it. Moving on to our committee reports. To our committee chairs, any updates that you would like to share at this time? The floor is yours. No particular order.
I have lots of updates, but
Lots of updates. Let's go, Amy. Let's do it.
yes, it's been a very logistical month or so. First, I want to thank all the commissioners who are serving in the liaison position to the counties. It has been really busy, and you all have stepped up, so I appreciate that. And the community partners are appreciating it. We not just have a hearing on October 5th, but we have 5 upcoming hearings. So October 5th, Montgomery County's hearing will be held at the universities at Shady Grove, which is in Rockville. Some of this information is on the commission website, and others will be updated this week. A lot of these venues have just been confirmed. The press release for that hearing is in its final stages of review and should be going out shortly. October 6th, Hartford and Cecil counties will be held at the Eames UMC in Bel Air. December 7th is the Midshore region. I skipped one. November 16th is the Southern Maryland region, which is St. Mary's and Calvert counties, with Charles as a partner in that. That will be held at the Leonardtown Library. Commissioner Coles, is that a confirmed venue?
Yes, the venue's been reserved.
Perfect, thank you. December 7th, Midshore region, which includes Kent, Caroline, and Queen Anne's County. And that is at the Minories, I hope I'm saying that right, Dream Alliance, which is in Chestertown. Commissioner Hughes, is that a confirmed venue?
Yeah, that's been confirmed. The Jamie Taylor Justice Coalition is going to sponsor that location.
Perfect, thank you. And then January 25th is Prince George's County, and that's at Bowie State University in Bowie. And I already know that that's a confirmed venue. That leaves 2 counties that are still in conversation, and those conversations are now active, Howard and Carroll counties. The final hearing will be what we're calling, at least in draft language, probably not final language. Language is the institutional and reconciliation hearing. We have not settled on a date, but just for conversation's sake, we're talking early February. And that will be the absolute final hearing. And a venue and all that is in conversation. And I think Commissioner Creary will be speaking more to that during his update. Event stream team has all these dates so that we can have the hearings recorded and live streamed. ASL interpreters are confirmed. Trauma-informed therapists are confirmed. Marketing is working. We're really trying to get some draft flyers, which is really not a press release. It's more of a flyer that we can also share with the counties for distribution more at the local level. And then probably the last big lingering logistical piece is confirming the Maryland State Police. We're realizing for a bunch of these counties, it's really important to have that extra level of security, just so folks are feeling safe, not just safe while we're all in the hearings. There's some counties that are not going to be quite as welcoming. And we're really trying to think about that as we're moving forward. Lastly, our last logistics meeting was held on August 19th. There will not be a September meeting, mostly because of everybody's schedule, and everybody on the logistics committee, I think, is serving as a liaison and trying to get these hearings up and going. So the next logistics committee meeting will be October 21st. As the hearings are taking place, please feel free to offer feedback through the logistics committee so that we can keep improving on the hearings as we're moving forward. We're continuing to learn. So if the Frederick County hearing is going to help inform all these hearings that are coming up in terms of logistics, even down to fine tuning how long each section should be planned for. I think that's all I have. I want to give a shout out as well to Trish Boyle, the project manager, for her help really behind the scenes navigating all of these moving pieces. So thank you.
Absolutely. I would definitely second that. And again, much appreciation to the commissioners for stepping up and making sure we can get this done. So thank you. Thank you, Amy, for your leadership on that one for sure. To our other Commissioner Davis, I see your hand. Sorry.
Yeah, I just have a suggestion. Maybe it's not for Amy. I know Hannah's here while Chris is out. If we could put the October hearing on the homepage, like it's on the listing of the hearings on the other tab, but I think if it's on the homepage, people will be able to see it when they first come, kind of where we list out our upcoming meetings. And that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you I was thinking the same thing and keep forgetting to suggest that. So.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that feedback. Okay. To research or reconciliation and justice, who would like to go next?
Sure, if I could hop on. I do have to leave early, and my apologies for getting here late. So I want to make sure I get my updates. We were able to meet as a committee on September 4th in lieu of the Labor Day holiday. So we're able to get updates primarily about the immediate 3 or 4 hearings and the associated cases with those. So there are several pieces that are in motion that should be gradually rolling out to commissioners in general, liaison commissioners specifically, as well as to the executive committee. So some of those pieces that folks should expect to see and also provide feedback on would be the case study profile documents that Heritage Associates has been developing. So these are multi-page Word documents that basically summarize the circumstances, individuals involved in the crimes that we are investigating. So it's kind of the purpose of which is to, keep us on track and know what we know, but also to be able to get that information to, again, our fellow commissioners and our partners that we're working with from the local coalitions. So again, if you're a liaison commissioner and you're working with a particular county or counties, and you don't feel like you have the most up-to-date information about the research for the individuals, then please connect with me and or Chris Haley so we can move that communication through the research committee. And again, we, as well as our contracted partners at Heritage Associates appreciate any feedback about omissions or needed further areas of study. The other pieces of information that we are gathering and compiling and also cross-referencing with our partners is the genealogical profiles of potential or confirmed descendants. Now, I do want to emphasize this piece too, because the research committee is going to need the collaboration of everybody on the commission, as well as our coalition partners, to make sure that we are, getting as much corroboration as we can about individuals that are participating as descendants. Often what we've learned, especially in the cases that took place in the 1800s, what we're learning is that it is extremely challenging to define the relationship that we see between an individual that's providing testimony and the victim that we are honoring the memory of and investigating. So really honing in on that through our committee, but again, asking for the support of others as we are making sure that those details are confirmed. And something that we are going to ask of individuals that do provide testimony is that they clearly state as possible. Well, first of all, before we even get to the hearing, we work with those descendants, confirmed or otherwise, to find the best corroborative documentation and also make sure that we're all on the same page about what those connections are and what should be stated during the hearing. So we will require descendants or other folks to specifically identify what their relationship is. And then it's our role as a committee to corroborate that and provide the documented evidence for the record, for the commission. So we have all that kind of packaged as we're heading into the hearings. So those are things that we will certainly be looking for continued collaboration on. We've also discussed how community members that are not or cannot prove a genealogical lineage will still participate. And we've seen this done multiple times already, where somebody from the community, even if they are not directly related to the victim, can speak to the legacy of the impact and what it means for, particularly the African American community in a given jurisdiction. So what we don't want to do is shut folks down if they're not necessarily a family member, if they're passionate, if they have a reason to advocate in their community and want to speak on behalf in that way. That's something that we want to try to make space for where the schedule allows. So, we'll defer to where the run of show is. But again, I just want to make clear that confirmed descendants, follow one path, and then other community members will follow another path if we're able to build them in for hearing participation. So there will be, the other area where support will be requested, and this is particularly from the chair and vice chair, is with invitations to confirmed descendants for the hearings, and also recruitment or contacting potential descendants who may be leery of this process or want to know exactly what they're getting involved in, because we have had instances of resistance or confusion when initial contact went out. So I would welcome any feedback about those various processes, but I also want everybody to know that they should be hearing more from the research committee, again, depending on your status as a liaison commissioner or somebody within those committees.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Armenti, for that update. Any questions for Commissioner Armenti and the research committee? Okay, hearing none, seeing none. Being mindful.
Sorry.
Chair,
yeah.
Chair, I
Sure.
was just going to ask, when would commissioner are meant to be hopping off, because then will we not have a quorum again if he does hop off?
I was just about to, yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. So I do want to be mindful of that. Commissioner
I'll
Armenti,
stay.
how much time do you have?
I will stay. I will stay.
He's a trooper. You are such
Yeah.
a trooper.
And let
All
me just say to our next regularly scheduled time for a research committee would have been the Monday after the scheduled Montgomery County hearing. So I am proposing within the committee to shift that to the prior Monday, because people are going to need to regroup afterwards, but also just so we can be fully confirmed on the Montgomery County information in the lead up to that week. So I will work with the MSA staff to update if we decide that, but I would just tentatively pencil in September 30th as opposed to October 7th as our next committee meeting. Thank you.
So, Chair, if I may, I would just like to flag that next at-large meeting will actually be in person. And maybe Amy would like to mention that as part of logistics, but that next meeting will be in person at Bowie State.
Yes, it will. So thank you for that. And we'll reiterate before we close. Yes, the next business meeting will be on October 7th, which is a week earlier than usual, acknowledging Indigenous Peoples Day. And it will be at Bowie State University. So one of the suggestions, if we have critical capacity, is that any committee meetings can just take place after the business meeting on October 7th, just to take advantage of us being in the same space at that time. So to committee chairs, just take that under consideration and you can make your scheduling as appropriate. All right, thank you for that. Now on to reconciliation and justice.
Thank you. Yeah, we met this past Friday, the first Friday of the month. And I guess, in terms of updates, the call for proposals or the request for proposals for the final project, final report writer is out. If you haven't gotten it, let us know. We'll make sure we get it to you, but please share that widely with your networks. I still don't remember what the deadline for submission of proposals is, but it's coming up soon. So if you could help us out, with getting the word out, that would be fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Kristen. The deadline is September 17th. So that's, I guess, a week from tomorrow, if I do my arithmetic correctly, which may or may not be the case. To your question, Commissioner Coles, I don't know if we've gotten any yet, but I figure, once we get them, we'll get them out so that we can get them evaluated and we can kind of start that process. What else? The bulk of the conversation, we were joined by Michael Scott of Equity Matters and Tanya Banya, who's an attorney who has been working with employees and former employees of BGE and Exelon. And it was very illuminating, disturbing in a lot of ways to hear about some of the things that have been going on that have relevance to, some of the things, the enduring legacies of lynching, as well as, just sort of looking at, what are some of the implications of that legacy. The piece that stood out for me was, hearing about a trainer who was, I think, working for BGE for a number of years, who would frequently, tie nooses, in front of the employees that were being trained, many of whom were African American. And and they shared a photo image of it, which is, as I said, just incredibly disturbing. But I think, having that conversation, hearing, the extent to which, the companies are trying to shut down, legal proceedings against them, I think really speaks to, again, some of the the degrees to which, we haven't maybe necessarily thought through or thought about some of those legacies of racial terror lynching that are still very much with us. And it was a very sobering conversation. I appreciated it very much. And then the last piece that we talked about was, again, what Commissioner Millen referred to as sort of the institutional and reconciliation hearing. And again, just sort of looking at it, and again, she had mentioned, sort of holding, having, February 8th as a placeholder date. I think we should at this point probably just let's see if we can etch that in stone and just make that the date that we're shooting for. And again, it would be unlike, sort of the regional sort of local hearings. We're thinking about doing this one sort of as an all-day kind of thing, because to talk about institutions such as news media, government, institutional agencies and things like that were involved, that would be one half, and then the other half, say, yes, we'll need a lunch break or something like that, or at least to have food relatively, easily accessible, but then to have the other half, looking at the issue of reconciliation. And again, there, the talk was, thinking in terms of locations. We were thinking about someplace in Annapolis. I will get in touch with Delegate Pena Melnick to see if it's a possibility to do it at the State House. And again, if that's not a possibility, if we want to keep it in Annapolis, I think maybe approaching St. John's College might be appropriate, given that, it's a higher ed institution, so they'll have the infrastructure, they'll have parking, they'll have accessibility. But I think also this gives them an opportunity to come face to face with the legacy of the lynching of Henry Davis on their campus in 1906. So trying to think. Oh, and this morning you received from Commissioner Coles a list of potential expert witnesses that we are considering to invite for, to provide testimony at that. And again, it's a shout out and credit to the interns, Chinello and August, that have been working with her very closely on this. But there's sort of a preliminary list. Obviously, we won't be able to invite everyone to participate or to testify at the hearing. Hopefully, if we can't get everybody to testify, we'll at least be able to get written testimony from other folks. But that's so, and if you have ideas, or suggestions, please do share them. Commissioner Coles, is that list active so that, if commissioners want to add names, they can, or should they just email them to you or myself?
It should have edit permissions. I confirmed that, but if anyone has any problems directly editing into the document, let me know and I'll check that out. I do want to point out that there are 3 separate tabs in the spreadsheet, and the first tab is for experts, community advocates, generally in the reconciliation, reparations type field space. Then there's a second tab on media. So for people that you think might be great to speak to either journalistic shortcomings or standards, at our last meeting, Commissioner Snowden recommended inviting the publishers of the Baltimore Sun. And so I, included them on there, and there may be other people that either currently work for media operations or maybe work for organizations that help set standards for media operations. I put some placeholders in there. I hadn't found the specific names, but if you guys are aware of any. And then the third tab is on the law enforcement portion, and that tab is not filled out well at all. I just started thinking through perhaps some organizations like Maryland Police Training Academies. Maybe there are some, a particular sheriff or, different people that we could think about who could contribute either A, contribute to the substance of the ideas that we want to push forward, or B, be in a place to espouse a sense of accountability for the harms that have occurred and in some ways continue to occur to the African American community. And so those are just some of the general things that we're thinking about as we're trying to put together the list of people we'd like to invite to speak.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Coles. Commissioner Armenti, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, not sorry to disrupt. Just on the idea of media organizations, on the flip side of the Baltimore Sun, I think we should prioritize the Afro-American newspaper. So I don't know if that has already been a conversation or if contacts are available, but I know at least Dr. Fakunle and myself, and I'm sure many others, are familiar with Savannah Wood and the wonderful work she's doing with the Afro Archives. So if it's a value, I'd be happy to be a part of that connection. But undoubtedly, you know, we've continued to honor the contribution of the Black press and the necessity of the Black press in all of this, especially from the research side of things. So it would be wise to include them in some official way if we could.
Absolutely. Would you please consider putting those people on the list that you think of? If you have their contact information, if you could include it. There is a column that asks if you have a personal connection, if you feel like volunteering that, please include that. Because I think once we get this full list together, we'll need to have another conversation about who we actually do want to go out and invite. And right now, the way I'm kind of envisioning it, I don't know if it'll actually happen this way, but I could see us having maybe 3 or 4 different panels across that day, topical panels, where maybe we'll have 5 of those different people, witnesses, sitting on a panel together, and we can have different representation, like the person from the African American Press and possibly the Baltimore Sun, and possibly the Media Standards, and just kind of have a cross section through the panels where they would provide their individual testimony, and then we would have the opportunity to follow up and ask questions. So that's just one possibility. But yes, if you could please check out the list, add the names you're thinking of. Nick, I remember you mentioned someone on Friday that I'm not sure if they made it onto the list yet or not. But it was it. Yeah.
It was Deneen Brown.
Yes. If you could add that name, contact information. But yeah, all of that would be wonderful. So please don't hesitate to add someone that you think of that could contribute to this.
Okay, great. Thank you. Other questions, comments, criticisms? Yes, Commissioner Millen.
Yeah, going back to the RFP for the report writer, and Reverend Tiekert asked if the LMPs could help with distribution, which I think that would be great. I just went to the the commission's website to see if it was posted there, and it's not. So that would be the other, is if it could be placed on the website. And then that's an easy place for us to direct folks to.
Okay, thank you. All right. Barring any further questions or comments, I will yield the floor back.
Thank you, Commissioner Creary and Commissioner Coles, for all the work. And I really appreciate personally just allowing Michael and Tanya to share their story. So it's one that I got familiar with when Mike reached out to me, and I certainly saw the connections with what we're doing. So I'm glad that it's been reflected in what you all learned, and whatever we can do to, elevate that story. I think they will be greatly appreciative, as well as the men that they are serving. So my personal gratitude for that one. All right, moving along with our agenda. I know this is kind of covered in the logistics committee updates. So any other updates regarding engagements with counties and regions? Commissioner Coles, I see your hand.
Thank you. I have a kind of question related to that. Given that our report is ultimately going to go to the Maryland legislature for them to vote on our recommendations, have we made a concerted effort to invite the state legislatures who represent the counties where we're holding our hearings to attend those hearings? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so part of the hearing prep is inviting all the local elected officials for that county.
Okay. And do we know if any of them are starting to think of coming?
I don't know.
Okay.
For individual community like planning meetings, some folks have confirmed that they have interpersonal relationships with their elected official, in which case some have confirmed with them personally. But we will start to track better the elected officials who have said yes, definitely we will be joining.
Okay, that sounds good. I know for the hearing that I'm the liaison for, it wasn't something that I had actively thought about, and so I wasn't sure if that was something someone else was thinking about in terms of the invitations, even though, you know, I hadn't thought about like including them in anything, but that's great.
I think it can be a both and, that an official invitation can be sent and received from the commission. And then also if our partnering groups, coalitions or others have those connections, the personal invite on top of the official goes a long way. So.
Right. And to follow with that, we take cues from the local coalitions as to which elected officials they would actually want to be there. So typically, yes, we would give it to everyone that applies, but we also kind of cross-reference that to those whose presence would actually be meaningful, particularly to local coalitions. So no, thank you all for that. Any other updates regarding county and regional engagement? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, we'll move on.
Sorry,
Yep.
let me.
Yep.
Sorry about that. A little slow on getting the the mute button off, but yeah, we've had some preliminary conversations with folks in Howard and Carroll counties, working on trying to keep that process moving. So stay tuned.
And I would just add that there are registration links that are coming down the pipeline. Amy has been getting those set up. So we will have a solidified location where folks can go and be able to get registered for all the upcoming hearings where there are definite locations that have been verified.
Thank you both. Commissioner Coles, I see your hand.
Trish, do you know when we should expect to have marketing materials for the next hearing so we can start sharing that on with our networks?
When you say marketing materials, do you mean press release or do you mean social media?
Both.
I will take right now it was prioritized for Montgomery County and then also Cecil and Hartford County for the press release, but I can circle back with Hatcher for your particular county as well.
No, I wasn't asking for my county in particular. I was just asking like when we would have like the social media images for Montgomery County since it's the next one. So just trying to like share all the upcoming hearings as they're ready.
Yes, understood. So the actual location for Montgomery County has just been solidified, and we didn't want to put an address without having that first. So all those things should be coming down the pipeline either today or tomorrow. We're still getting the press release updated, allowing for folks to send over any additional input for the draft. So the social media piece should be coming soon as well.
Thank you all for those updates. Moving. Any other questions about that before we move on? Okay, hearing none, seeing none. Any new business that we need to discuss?
I would not mention it as new business, but we have reached out to our American Sign Language, our trauma response team, as well as our streaming team to confirm their presence to be at all of the upcoming hearings.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay. Any other new/old business? All right, hearing none, seeing none.
Hey,
Oh.
David, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It's all right.
Someone came into Riversdale and I had to step away for a moment. Sorry. I just didn't know if we ever acknowledged that Chris Haley is receiving the 2024 Leadership and History Awards for Maryland from AASLH. So just wanted to put that out there as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Much appreciation, much respect, honor to Chris for everything he's done, not just on this commission, but overall in telling the story. So thank you, Commissioner Davis, for uplifting that. And we should do that. Anytime y'all got successes that's relevant, let us know. Okay. No, we definitely want to show our appreciation. None of the work that we do is easy within the commission and outside of it. So when we have that recognition of our impact, we should celebrate, even if it's just a spirit fingers where we at. We are doing meaningful work, and we need to be reminded of that. Sometimes we get in the weeds, but we are doing the meaningful work. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Moving on, any announcements? Will with his awesome beard. Go for it. I'm not gonna let it go down. I love that beard. I'm sorry. I love it.
Duly noted. So I wanted to mention, first of all, that there was a very lovely soil collection ceremony yesterday in Westminster for Townsend Cook. And that soil, as with the soil collected at all other lynching sites in Maryland, will soon be on display at our permanent exhibit at the Lewis Museum, which is going to be opening in October. More news to follow on that. And I also wanted to mention, just if those who aren't aware, that our annual conference is on November 2nd, and I'm going to put a link in the text. And it's a pretty awesome lineup, and we're not even done yet. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look and you're interested, the link is there, and we hope to see you.
Thank you for that, Will. Much appreciation as always. Any other announcements?
Today is the Montgomery County planning meeting. If anyone would like to join that, it is this afternoon at 3. So if you would like the link to that, let us know.
Thank you for that. And if you can if we can put it in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to think. I trust all y'all, so I don't think it'll fall into the wrong hands. So yeah, we can put that in the chat. That would be great. Appreciate you, Trish. Any other announcements? Okay. There it is. Thank you, Dr. Dupree, Commissioner Dupree Wilson, for that. Last call for announcements. Okay, hearing none, seeing.
I'm sorry.
That's
Maybe
okay.
a reminder about the October meeting.
Yes, the ultimate announcement. So we have our next business meeting on Monday, October 7th. It will be in person because we would like to try to do at least one in-person meeting per quarter from here on out. So it will be on the campus of Bowie State University. Have we confirmed the specific building or room?
We have not confirmed a specific building, but Miranda has CC'd myself on correspondence with the university, and they are very receptive and happy to be having us and hosting us.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you for that. Yep, please keep us updated so we can share that with commissioners as well as the public. Commissioner Davis, I see your hand, and then Commissioner Curry, I'll come to you.
No, I was just going to say, I know why we moved the meeting for the holiday, but the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture had its regular standing meeting that same day, and time overlap. So unfortunately, I won't be able to attend the in-person meeting because I have to chair another in-person meeting.
I guess I can understand that. Thank you. Appreciate that, Commissioner Davis. No worries. Commissioner Curry, I see.
Yeah, and again, as we did the last time we met in person at Bowie State last January, or January 23. Wow, it's been a while. But the Reconciliation Committee will meet about a half hour after the general meeting ends. So yes, we usually meet on the first Friday of the month, but we will push that back till after the meeting because, yeah, there's no way we're going to meet the Friday before the hearing in Montgomery County. And since most of us will be in the same space at the same time, we'll just, take a break, get some food, and then, have the Reconciliation Committee meeting after the general business meeting.
Okay. Oh, sounds good. And again, to committee. So, Reverend Tyker, the next meeting is October 7th, the next business meeting, Monday, October 7th, first one of the month at Bowie State University. I don't know if we will have any live streaming of that meeting, so it might be you gotta show up in person to know what happened. Otherwise, wait for the minutes, but we can confirm that as well once we get the room and space confirmed. All right, so thank you all for that. Any other announcements?
What happens if we don't reach quorum at that one?
Oh, wow. I don't even know why you said that, but I know why you said it.
I was just going to say, let's not go there.
Right. We got 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I need at least 10 of y'all to show up in person, okay?
Let's maybe just preserve the virtual as an option in case that's the only way to reach quorum.
Well, right.
We're gonna try to offer, but we're gonna try to have virtual option to be able to get folks on there virtually if needed.
Yes.
We're also offering Waffle House. I mean, we're trying to,
Yes, it may
be. And then Commissioner Dupree Wilson, yes, if we get some cocktails to go with the Waffle House, so much the better, right?
And we got to pour one out because the CEO of Waffle House just transitioned. So you know what? This is going to be a meaningful meeting one way or another. We want to find a way to get some Waffle House.
Would it be completely verboten? I'm definitely planning to come, but I may have to have a baby in tow. Would that be a problem?
I don't see any problems.
I mean, what are we going to say? Like, what are we going to do?
He's a very good baby. I promise you won't even notice he's there.
That's fine, because my baby is the opposite of that. You will know she's there. So, but and so if it makes you feel better, I'll see if I can bring the missus and the baby down, and then you won't be the only one.
Okay, that would be great. We'll set up a little PlayStation for him.
Yes, we are commissioned for the babies. We are for the children.
And we've had children at hearings before, so why not? I mean,
exactly.
Never too soon to start their education.
Exactly.
I agree.
Okay, thank you, Baba Jimmy, for your willingness to assist with the virtual option. So, yes, please try to come in person because, again, I like to be reminded that we are all like living, breathing human beings. But if you are not able to, we understand. Please join virtually so that we can have quorum. All right. Any other announcements? All right. Hearing none, seeing none. We can move to adjourn this meeting for today. Thank you all. Again, our next month's meeting will be in person at Bowie State. Please join in person if you can, virtually if you can't. Before then, we've got our hearing on October 5th. Same thing. Please join in person if you can. If you can't, please be prepared to join virtually. We want to make sure we have a good showing for the people of Montgomery County. All right. But until then, thank you all. Much appreciation. Stay safe. And I'll see you when I see you.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.